Hi guys, it's Mark Zicree, Mr. Sci-Fi, also known as Mark Zicree of Space Command, or Space Command, however you like it. I'm wearing my Space Command comic book t-shirt, and we're about to go to press on issue number 2, which is our spectacular Mira Furlan issue in memorial, of course, of our dear Mira Furlan, whom we lost to West Nile virus a few months ago. But I wanted to talk today. We've got a lot of stuff coming up, and a new movie and that we're doing, and Space Command and the Showrunners Network and on and on. But today I'm just going to talk about several movies I've recently seen, which ones I like, which ones I don't like, and recommend a book to you that you may not ever have heard of or read, plus an old movie that's unique. So, so Elaine and I just saw Old, and it's an M. Night Shyamalan film, and it's good. It was fun. It was entertaining. You know, we wanted to go to a movie theater. We wanted to just kind of relax and have popcorn, and it was fine. It was fine. The problem with M. Night Shyamalan, of course, is or Shyamalan, or however you pronounce it, is the problem with him is that he made his real he put his name on the map with the Bruce Willis film, The Sixth Sense, which had an amazing turn that I did not guess, and so it really carried me along, and I thought it was really quite a wonderful film. And but the problem was that he has stayed very much attached to the notion that you have to have a big surprise ending, a big reveal, and so. You know, Signs, you had these aliens who you could kill with water, and they come to Earth, which is, mostly water, which is just like, nutty, and it's like an alien race of the Wicked Witches of the West, and you just throw water on them and they die. And so that was like, okay, not a bad movie, Mel Gibson, etc. And but then by the time you get to The Village, which is, it was an interesting film, but again a ridiculous reveal, and then you get to Lady in the Lake, and that's even wackier, and you look at that and you go, oh man, I'm so done with this. And again, it's just like, whoa-wee. And so then you kind of, but you keep hoping that it'll return to form, that it'll be great, because he works well with actors. His casting choices are usually very, very good. It's just these nutty puzzle boxes. So Old isn't as good as The Sixth Sense, but it has a very good cast, led by Gael Garcia Bernal and Rufus Sewell, who I've always liked since I first saw him in Cold Comfort Farm and Dark City. If you ever see Dark City, watch the director's cut. It's very different structurally, and it's a wonderful film. And of course, Rufus Sewell most recently has been the lead in Man in the High Castle, and he was very, very good in that. And he's equally good in this, in sort of a thankless role as sort of a semi-villainous guy. But it's a fun film. It deals, and if you've seen the trailers, you know what the gag is. The gag is, it's this beach that these people get trapped on at a resort, and they start aging. Their kids start aging, growing up rapidly, and can they find a way to escape before they grow old and die? And so it's fun. It's fun, and the matching of the young kid actors to the older kid actors to the adult versions of those characters. And again, I'm not spoiling anything that hasn't been shown in the trailers, but so it's fun. It's basically fun, where you say, how are they going to do this? And the reveal, and I'm not going to reveal the reveal, but I am going to say it's preposterous, but less preposterous than some of his other films. And so you can sort of say, well, okay, it's in the real world, this would not happen, but I can roll with it. It's fun, and it's fine. It puts a little bow on the end. And so basically, I'm saying with this movie, with Old, if you like kind of escapist science fiction / fantasy, it's not a bad way to spend a couple of hours in the dark and just kind of get away from the woes of one's daily life. And then I saw another film. I rented it on Prime, and I'd heard that it was really, really good, the best film since Moon, low budget science fiction film. It's called Settlers. And the trailer looked really good, and the casting was very good, and it's set on Mars, sort of a semi-terraformed Mars, where this little girl and her parents are in this they've sort of homesteaded, and it's the issue of whether it's really their land, really their home. And it gets off to a good start, and the little girl is very good, but and again, I don't want to spoil it, but it doesn't really it's not a satisfying ending. It's not a satisfying build to where the story goes to. It's grim, and as much as I liked the way they created a believable Mars, I just felt it's like after 2 hours you go, well, gee, that was kind of a bummer. So it's a very talented director, very talented actors, really good production design. But unless you like very kind of grim films, and I'm not against grim films if they are sufficiently entertaining. For instance, Aniara, which I was recently raving about, I thought was terrific and very interesting, even though it does have a very grim place it goes to. So, but for me, Settlers, I mean, if you get it on one of your free channels, eventually check it out, but be prepared to kind of say, well, I don't know. But there was see, here's the challenge with science fiction and fantasy films, which is that unless it's a big major thing like the Avengers or whatever, you don't know you've never heard of it usually, and if you have, and all the titles, they're generally some fairly lurid, and so you can't tell. This was from the 1950s on. You couldn't tell which were the good ones and which were the bad ones unless you heard about it or watched them. The Thing, is a great film, particularly John Carpenter's version, but there are equally weirdly titled movies, Hideous Sun Demon or whatever, like for instance, there's Hideous Sun Demon, which I haven't seen recently, but I don't think it's a great classic, versus The Incredible Shrinking Man, which is a wonderful film written by Richard Matheson based on his novel. And you wouldn't guess, if someone said, which is better, The Hideous Sun Demon or The Incredible Shrinking Man, if you didn't know of these films, you would say, well, aren't they kind of interchangeable? And the answer is no. So I came upon a film I had not heard of on Netflix recently. It's called Blood Red Sky, and I highly recommend it. If you like action, horror kind of films, this is really, really clever. It's really well done. It's a German film, but because the bad guys are American, it's in English and German, and it's just delightful. I'm not going to tell you the gag. Let's just say that a mother who apparently is undergoing chemotherapy is flying with her young son to from Europe to America for treatments, experimental treatments, and so so she has no hair on her head. She has to put on a wig. This is at the beginning of the movie, and she's very light sensitive and seems pretty shaky. You see her giving herself shots and doing medical things that are a bit painful and a bit she seems kind of like very unsteady on her pins, and then she goes on this airplane and shit happens. And I thought it was just a wonderful film. I really enjoyed it. The acting is very good. The lead actress looks like Noomi Rapace but isn't, and so I can't off the top of my head remember her name. I hadn't heard of her before, but she was very, very good. The little boy is excellent. The cast overall is just terrific, and there's many surprises and many wonderful moments, and the visual effects and stunts and all that stuff are really done well. And so if you like that kind of film, I think you'll really like this kind of movie, and Blood Red Sky. So check it out. Now we get to the older things that I'm going to recommend. I came upon this. It's a rarity as a DVD and at a swap meet about a week ago, and it was this German couple. So Germany is the language of the week, I guess, the nationality of the week, and they were selling these DVDs from Europe, and so one of the ones I bought was Zardoz, and I hadn't seen it since it came out when I was a kid in the early '70s. And it was directed by John Borman, who did Deliverance and Excalibur, so talented director. And it stars Sean Connery, of course, who was at that time renowned as James Bond, the great James Bond. Daniel Craig can definitely take a backseat to Sean Connery, in my opinion. So I knew it was a really strange film. It's got this big flying stone head that spits out guns and flies, and Sean Connery's dressed in this really peculiar red Speedo kind of outfit, and it has Charlotte Rampling, who's terrific and gorgeous, but I didn't remember how weird a film it was. And Elaine, being Elaine, was wonderful and allowed me to watch it with her because she knew it was going to be a long haul, and I just and we watched it, and it is incredibly weird. It is very much a child of the hippie era. It's very freaky and trippy, and it doesn't really work. It's really peculiar, But if you want to see a really strange film that's really unusual, and particularly if you can, and this comes with John Borman's audio commentary, which is terrific, because a big problem with the film was he was coming right off Deliverance, which was a huge hit, a great movie if you've never seen it. It stars Burt Reynolds in his greatest role, and John Voight, who's also terrific in it. And if you've heard the song "Dueling Banjos," that's from that movie. And it's just a great film. And so he was riding very high, John Borman, and he had written this script for Zardoz, and they greenlit it, but the one proviso was he had to make it for $1 million, which was way less money than he really needed. And so you see that challenge of that challenge of them hitting their head on the budget over and over and trying to be inventive over and over. It's really, if he'd had 10 times the money, this could have probably been a much better movie. But as it is, it comes several years after 2001, and just a couple years, 2 or 3 years before Star Wars, and so it's just really a groaner in many ways, but fun. It's like, if you want to see, it's sort of like a terrible fun movie versus like most terrible movies which aren't fun at all. This is a fun one, and so I don't know if I should actually say I recommend it, but it's definitely, if you've never seen it, it's extremely odd. Sean Connery was a wonderful actor, and interestingly enough, Burt Reynolds was originally going to star in this film in the Sean Connery role as an executioner, as a sort of a hitman, horseback riding, gun-wielding yahoo who rides with other guys dressed in the same red Speedos. But Burt Reynolds, coming off Deliverance, was going to do this film for John Borman, and then he fell ill and had to be replaced. And Sean Connery was a friend of John Borman's and said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And so he stepped in, and he definitely lends what dignity there is to this film. And Charlotte Rampling, who you may have seen in such films as The Night Porter and Stardust Memories, and she's now older and equally good now in films. She's great in this too. I like it, but it's incredibly goofy. Now, in terms of recommending a book, there's a book I've been rereading which I love, and it's one of my favorite books, and you may or may not have ever heard of it, but it is She by H. Rider Haggard, and this is the photoplay edition that came out in the 30s, the British photoplay edition, and that's Helen Gahagan, who starred in the 1930s film that was made by the same team that did King Kong. And Helen Gahagan later would marry Melvyn Douglas, the actor, and she would become a politician and actually be the victim of dirty tricks by Richard Nixon when he was on the ascendant before he was president. But it's a great fantasy story. H. Rider Haggard also wrote King Solomon's Mines. I can recommend the novel unequivocally. She is one of the great female characters in all of fantastic literature, and it's just an amazing piece of work. And you can get it in cheap editions. I've actually got the first edition on the shelf over there, but when I saw this on eBay, I just could not resist. It's such a great cover, and Helen Gahagan is really memorable. And then they made a later a version with Ursula Andress in the role, and they made another version with Sandal Bergman in the role. But because it's supposed to be about the most beautiful woman in the world, and this immortal queen, that's very hard to pull off in a movie. Much easier in a radio show or audiobook or book. And but if you love steampunk, if you love Victorian escapist fantasy, this is very much the book for you. So that's about it for now. We're going to be talking about a lot more very soon. We are busy at work on post-production on Space Command and prep on Space Command and many other things. So we will talk to you soon, and stay well, stay healthy, stay safe, and thanks for being here. Take care, guys. Bye.